On 19th, 1944, Chidori Airfield, Iwo Jima. Lieutenant General Tadamaki Kuribayashi steps onto the volcanic island's blackened soil, heat radiating from the ground like an oven. A seasoned officer, Kuribayashi carried a direct order from Prime Minister Hideki Tojo: defend this island to the last man. Gazing upon the desolate, sulfur-choked landscape, he knew the truth. This mission was a death sentence. He had told his wife that even his ashes might never return home. Strategically located 750 miles south of Tokyo, Iwo Jima was a vital outpost. Its 3 airfields allowed Japanese forces to intercept American B-29 bombers en route to the homeland. For the U.S., capturing the island would mean emergency landing fields for damaged aircraft and a launch pad for P-51 Mustangs to escort bombing raids all the way to Tokyo. But the price of this advantage would be staggering. Kuribayashi, who had studied in the United States and respected American industrial power, knew traditional Japanese defense tactics, like banzai charges and beachhead resistance, would be suicidal. Instead, he pioneered a defense-in-depth strategy, constructing a vast, hidden fortress beneath the surface. Over 18 kilometers of tunnel, pillboxes, and reinforced positions would turn Iwo Jima into a nightmarish trap for the invaders. Nearly 1/4 of his 21,000-strong garrison were assigned to excavation duty. Conditions were hellish. Volcanic heat, limited fresh water, disease, and near-constant aerial bombardment. But Kuribayashi led by example. He refused special treatment, shared rations with his men, and visited the wounded personally, an act unheard of for an officer of his rank. He instructed his soldiers, kill 10 Americans before you die. This wasn't about victory. It was about inflicting maximum attrition on a superior force. On February 19, 1945, after 74 days of bombing and 3 days of naval shelling, 30,000 U.S. Marines landed. For 30 minutes, they encountered little resistance. Then Kuribayashi gave the order. Every artillery, mortar, and machine gun position opened fire in unison. The beaches turned into killing fields. By sundown, over 2,300 Marines were dead or wounded. But Kuribayashi's strategy also puzzled the Americans. There were no banzai charges, no nighttime mass attacks. Instead, tunnel warfare defined the conflict. Japanese troops would disappear underground, re-emerge elsewhere, and strike again. Positions thought destroyed would come alive hours later. Mount Suribachi, the island's southern peak, fell after days of brutal fighting, marked by the iconic flag raising on February 23rd. Yet below its surface, hidden soldiers fought on for weeks. The battle only intensified in the northern highlands, a maze of caves and ravines named by the Americans. The meat grinder, Hill 382, Turkey Knob, where Marines had root out defenders inch by inch. Flamethrowers, explosives, and napalm became essential, with some flame teams suffering over 90% casualties. Supplies of Japanese were nearly gone. No water, little food, dwindling ammo, but still, they fought on. Among the defenders was Colonel Baron Takechi Nishi, an Olympic gold medalist in equestrian show jumping and former Hollywood celebrity. His tanks had sunk en route to the island, yet he stayed, fighting as infantry. He died in late March. His body never recovered. So too did Kuribayashi, who reportedly led a final banzai charge on March 26, abandoning his own rule in a last act of defiance. His body was never found. In total, over 26,000 American casualties were recorded, 6,821 killed, making Iwo Jima the bloodiest battle in Marine Corps history. The Japanese lost almost everyone. Of 21,000 offenders, only 1,083 survived, most surrendering weeks or months later from the tunnels. Yet, despite the cost, the island served its purpose. Over 2,200 B-29 bombers made emergency landings there, saving an estimated 25,000 airmen. The psychological toll on both nations was immense. For the U.S., Iwo Jima proved the Japanese would defend their homeland at any cost, contributing to the controversial decision to use atomic weapons rather than invade Japan. For Japan, the battle was a tragedy largely forgotten in the face of atomic bombings and civilian firebombing that followed. Only decades later would the story of the defenders of Kuribayashi of Nishi be revisited. Today, the island is silent. Civilian access is rare, granted only for memorials. The tunnels remain sealed, holding the remains of over 10,000 Japanese soldiers. American and Japanese memorials now stand side by side. Former enemies have met here in peace, walking old battlefields, embracing, weeping, remembering. General Kuribayashi fought with honor and brilliance, knowing he would die. Baron Nishi, the Olympian turned soldier, met the same fate. And 21,000 Japanese defenders gave their lives for a cause already lost. Yet even in this carnage, humanity endured. The story of Iwo Jima is one of unmatched sacrifice, tactical genius, and ultimate reconciliation. As Fleet Admiral Nimitz said of the Marines who fought there,